What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 1 of Hardcore Casuals. My name is Kyle, aka Sophist. I'm here with two of my co-hosts. First up, someone you might already be familiar with. His name is Dom, aka Xizta. How are you?
Surprisingly not dead.
So, do you want to tell these guys a little bit about your history with gaming?
Um, Basically, I've been playing video games forever. I had the Atari 2800 when I was young, and I'm pretty sure I rescued the princess from Super Mario Brothers at like the age of 5. So I get a lot of gaming under my belt. I've had almost every single system, console, and yeah.
Cool. What about now? Stuff you're doing at this point in time?
Pretty much just PC gaming. Lots of World of Warcraft. Been getting into some other games, but I don't know. Love Warcraft.
Cool. Next, we have the person that brings a little bit of class to this podcast. We have Angela, or aka Indy.
What's up, guys?
How about you? What do you give us a little bit about your background and stuff you're doing now?
I'm also a child of Atari, and I pretty much went through every console game that there was as a kid, and I was just addicted immediately. And then I started getting into MMOs about 6-7 years ago, and I met some really great people, and that's inevitably how I met you guys. And I got into video making and became a TGN director, so that's been a lot of fun. Bringing kind of like what I know about the priest class to other people has been kind of rewarding in the process of fulfilling my addiction to games. So
Cool. All right. Well, I also have been playing games for as long as I can remember. Me and my brother built our first computer from spare parts. Just something I fell in love with and has been a part of my life forever. I know all of us now, yeah, like you were saying, Andy, we're all fairly active in the gaming community now, but we're not, I guess, what you would call hardcore gamers. We don't do a ton of theory crafting and parse our raids or whatever, so we wanted to bring a little bit of that to the gaming community. There's a lot of people explaining how to do things the best, how to speed run through different things, how to be the world first in something. But us three just kind of enjoy the aspect where we go do something for fun because we want to, and if it sometimes we end up doing it all night, sometimes it's for a couple hours, and we just kind of have a blast. I had a whole thing kind of written out for what this podcast is supposed to be, but I think I just want it to speak for itself. I think we'll just go through the things, and people will kind of get what they need out of it. So,
totally.
Yeah,
And to
seems good to
touch
me.
on what you just said, as far as being hardcore and casual at the same time, kind of like knowing what we're doing in the game, but taking a step back to actually enjoy it versus just being absolute number nerds over it. I think we can all relate to being that at one point in time. When I very first started playing WoW and Classic, I was in a 40-man raid guild, and we raided 5 days a week. And, the time in the game was spent preparing for the raids or raiding, and there wasn't really much anything else going on. And now that the game has kind of morphed into something completely different, the possibilities are there for people to be more casual about it, but also, know your stuff and get stuff done. And I think we're kind of sitting in the middle of those two extremes.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started playing Warcraft, I was in a casual raiding guild, 40-man guild, even though we had 2 raid teams, which seems a little absurd. So you would think running something like that would have been a full-time job, but it really wasn't that bad because we had a lot of micromanagement. But I went from a casual guild that we raided strictly on the weekends, which is kind of unheard of now. Most people they do the weekdays and take weekends off. But back then, raiding on the weekends was like the norm. And then when I went to hardcore guild on my server, Paradox, we were clearing, all the way through Naxxramas. We made it to Kel'Thuzad and, everything back when that stuff was really tough. And it was like a full-time job. It was pretty hardcore, but I don't think I could ever do that to that level again.
all right. Well, I think that's a little bit enough about the whole podcast in general. We can kind of stroll along here into next, I guess we should just jump right into it. We have a segment that we want to bring up every week that should take. We did the math on this. It's gonna take a very long time for us to finish this. Uh, it was something like hundreds of episodes or something like that. So if we get to that point, maybe someday we'll catch up to the lore and instances uh, as they're currently being introduced.
Yeah, I've always found the lore kind of interesting. I just never really paid much attention to it at the time. I always said I was going to go back and do these quests and read them all very thoroughly, but I just never ever got around to that.
I'm fickle. I find certain aspects of lore interesting and certain aspects not so much. Like Illidan, I was very much into his story because it seemed, and I'm not 100% positive, but it seemed like the backdrop of his descent into madness was a broken heart. So, like, of course, I'm a chick and I'm a sucker for that stuff. But what I'm trying to say is, I guess it depends on the story.
Yeah, I mean, I get the gist of a lot of stuff, but for the most part, especially instances, which is why this is what I was really interested in doing, is that with the instances, I just get in there and I'm like, all right, now I'm playing with a group of people. Let me just grab these quests real quick, do them. It's kill this guy, grab this thing, maybe escort this dude, which is awful, but that happens too. Uh, and I just run through, get it done, and move on. And I never realized that there's such a deep storyline to these things. I mean, where we're going to start is from the beginning. So if you were leveling, we're going to try and do it in the order of the instances that you would hit as you go.
Which
And
means it'll take some time to get to my Illidan.
yeah, quite a while, I think, at this point, but
Yeah, indeed.
we'll get there, hopefully. Uh, and so we're starting with Ragefire, and all I really know from my perspective is I think there's some Trogs, there's some sort of shadow council or something like that, some goblin dude, uh, and some evil things going on back there, which is why we're going back there to try and sort it all out and
But
kick some
there's no
butt.
broken hearts.
No, well,
The only
no.
broken heart here is yours, Indy, because there's no love story.
No.
But basically, the overall backstory is the chief engineer, Gazlo from Ratchet. He's the leader. He discovered the volcanic tunnels under Agramar, and he found this clan of Trogs known as the Ragefire Trogs. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, when the Trogs were approached, they found out they were fairly hostile, and everyone was worried that they could rise up and potentially overrun Agramar.
You know, well, that would surprise me, but go on.
Well, basically, the Trogs were just a front. Um, there was actually a group of the Searing Blade were hidden in the back of the cavern and used the Trogs to hide their true objectives. So,
Oh,
yeah, basically, back in Vanilla, there was a quest with Thrall where he would send you to investigate the what was going on in Ragefire Chasm undercover, and you stumbled across them, but Thrall ended up not even wanting you to expose them. He wanted to just keep an eye on them to learn who they were and what their purpose was.
oh, poor Trogs, man. They just get used and then tossed aside.
Yeah, the first boss that we came into in Ragefire Chasm was the leader of the Trogs, Ogleflint, and pretty much realized that he was not strong enough to fight off the Searing Blade himself. So he
He's a
basically,
Trogg.
yeah, Trog definitely. So he basically just hid in the front entrance and hoped that they would eventually just leave.
I mean, aren't there, the Trogs are the Nomuragon guys too, right? The little hairy, weird-looking,
Hmm.
lumpy guys.
Yes.
How do they expect them to do anything?
They were gonna take over Orgrimmar, Indy.
I
This was
highly
gonna
doubt that.
happen.
Well, there's safety in numbers. So if the Trogs massed up an entire army, they could easily overrun Orgrimmar.
Oh, numbers. Okay.
It was never quite sure how many were found down there.
Plus Ogleflint.
True. I'll go Flint.
Well, they should have marched down the Nomuragon and gotten them, the diseased ones, the
That would've been
irradiated
trouble.
ones.
Ooh. All right. So all right.
But
So we
then,
got Ogleflint and we got some stuff. I heard there's a bad
Sorry.
dude coming up.
but then basically as you went in further, you came across Terragaman the Hungerer, who basically just lured people to their death, and he posed as the leader of the Searing Blade. But in all actuality, Jurgosh the Invoker and Balzalan were the leaders, and Jurgosh was an orc. He rejected all orc ideals, began practicing dark magic, and he led it with Basilan, whatever. I have no clue how to pronounce these guys' names, but he's a satyr, which had no revealed motive. But if you take the satyrs and what their purpose with the Burning Legion is in general, it's to corrupt Azeroth and the creatures within it.
All right. These guys are all about layers of like. No, it's the Trogs. Okay, you got us. It's this guy, Taragaman. This guy. That's the bad guy. And then you get to them and you're like, damn it. All right.
Yeah.
You really got us.
Well, then they added a fifth boss in Burning Crusade for the Paladin Weapon Quest, Zalamar the Wrathful, which was just a Doomguard. And there were some Doomguards that were not just loyal servants, and they rose up to fight for themselves, such as, if you remember, Lord Kazakh. He's a very perfect example of that. And since he was 4 levels higher than any other mob in the instance, I actually believe he may have been the leader, calling all the shots.
Maybe. Yeah, I could see that. Like Kazakh, the guy from TSC. Is that him?
No, he was the world boss that you fought in Vanilla, and then he was a world boss that you fought again in Burning Crusade.
See, I love lore.
The guy with the funny hair.
It has to involve some sort of, like I told you, Illidan. His story's
I
pretty cool.
actually like it. I just don't. I know nothing about it. All right, so we got a paladin level 20 guy that might actually have been the leader, and then something crazy happened.
Yeah, basically now with Mists of Pandaria, they decided for whatever reason to completely rework the dungeon again, and they updated it and kind of reflect what happened between Vanilla WoW and now. So since then, the Searing Blade's Shadow Council has been purged from the cave, and this group, the Dark Shamans, have infiltrated, and it's basically the same thing. It's the remnants of what's left from the Twilight's Hammer, from Cataclysm, with Cho'Gall's Hall, his invasion and all that. And you have Adarog, which is actually the first boss that you stumble across in there, and he's just a Flame Guard dog that he was ripped right out of the Firelands, and they basically used him to eat all the Trogs in the instance.
What?
Yeah, he fed on Trogs until they were completely obliterated.
These Trogs have just been crapped on from the beginning of WoW. Is there like a Trog refugee camp in Orgrimmar somewhere? There's gotta be.
There probably should be, but to make things even worse, Ogleflint, you could actually see his corpse lying on the ground right next to Adarog.
Oh, they're just Trogs.
They're poor Trogs. They need to.
Well,
you can't just wipe them. Feed them to dogs, really?
He didn't wipe them out because obviously they came back to appear in No More Gone somehow.
Well, that's a completely different group of Trogs. These are the Ragefire Trogs, who pretty much seem to be extinct now.
Just get crapped on.
Well,
Had a hard life. Poor Ogleflint.
same species.
Well, yeah, but I don't say that about us.
Well,
I
guess I don't have a warm,
English.
fuzzy heart for Trogs.
Is that because they're fuzzy?
They're very fuzzy, but they're like annoyingly fuzzy.
Well, the next boss we had in there was Dark Shaman Cornithal, and he basically decided that the best way to control elementals was through brute force, and he gained ranks really quickly with the Twilight Hammer because of this. But how do you think he actually went ahead and brute forced elementals. Like, what would that entail?
Uh, uh
Asking them nicely.
Trogs.
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 And water.
I don't know. I just like
I heard if Trogs drink water after midnight or get wet, then they multiply.
those are mogwais.
Oh. What if they eat after midnight?
Then they turn into gremlins.
Oh. And then you can tell elementals what to do. Case solved.
Was the dude like a warlock?
Yeah, he's basically a warlock. But
well, warlocks can banish elementals and mess with them, so.
Well, it wasn't more of a warlock than he was a shaman, since his name is Dark Shaman Cornethal.
I don't know.
It's the same premise.
Dark. Maybe he's like a warlock shaman. That's just implied. Okay.
But
you got me.
Yeah, like I really don't know how you would go about brute forcing elementals, and the where Targoman the hunger used to be. There's a worm in there called Slagmaw, and he has not been controlled from the Dark Shaman. They actually have no idea how to go about controlling him, and he just kind of runs rampant. So I think that's a perfect example that they still don't really know what exactly they're doing down there.
Well, it's the first instance, so you gotta give him some slack. I think that's it. I know what the next expansion's gonna be.
Don't say it.
What's that?
It's for the Return of the Trogs.
No.
No.
Yep. They're gonna
you heard it here first, guys. No Burning Legion expansion. It's gonna be a Trogg expansion.
Trogg expansion. And it's gonna be a third faction. And you get to play as them. And you're trying to wipe out the Alliance and the Horde.
No. Trogs against
that
the
would
world?
Be awful.
No.
Whatever, I'm rolling a Trogg.
Oh, but lastly we have Lava Guard Gordoth. And he was basically a shaman that wanted to directly harness the powers of the Firelands and had the energy channeled directly into him. So basically he used himself as a conduit. And his goal was to become one of the elemental ascendants, which we actually fought the council in, I believe it was Blackwing Descent raid in Cataclysm, which they're basically half human, half elemental demigod creatures. And being a conduit didn't quite work out for him, and it ended up mutating him and kind of drove him insane.
Mm-hmm.
So he looks like this horrible orc troll hybrid. Like, if you remember the trolls, the giant colossus trolls that would run around in ZG, he kind of looks like one of those.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, but that about covers like all the stuff from Ragefire. But this coming patch, they're actually adding a scenario for Ragefire.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, they're gonna further explore this. I really don't want to go into any spoilers or anything, but Vol'jin kind of wants to know what Garrosh is up to, and he sends us to explore.
I have a question.
What's up?
In this expanded thingy scenario, will Sophist have the ability to reunite himself with some Trogs?
I do not believe there are any Trogs. As far as I'm aware, they are extinct.
There might be.
But what if one little Trogg family, or like one little Trogg Adam and one little Trogg Eve, survive this thing that happened?
Yeah, then you have your love story.
Then there's a love story. Then okay.
And Indy's sold.
There you go.
Perfect. Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible.
Though I don't want to think about Trogs actually in the act of reproducing. It's even been revealed
that maybe your buddy Illidan is not truly dead.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, Illidan is ridiculous. I fucking love him. You can cut that.
Nope, not cutting it. So, alright, we're going to summarize some Ragefire here. We got Trogs, they get killed, they're not all the way. We got some bad dudes hanging out behind the Trogs. Then they remake it. now we got people with elementals and a big dog. They eat more trogs. Uh, now there's none. Maybe I'm hoping there are. I think so.
Aww.
I miss those trogs.
This guy wants to be a demigod, and maybe more to come in the next patch.
On the PTR, there's a new scenario being added called The Secrets of Ragefire. And there's really not too much. Looking at the stages of it right now, and we have 5 stages. Stage 1 is infiltration, which we have to breach the main chamber of the abductions. I'm not quite sure what that is. It seems like this might also be like a off branch of Ragefire, like another tunnel or something that they've discovered. So I don't think it's Ragefire itself. It just seems to be like another tunnel subsection of it. There's the reconnaissance mission, which we investigate the main chamber. Stage 3 is the sealed gate, and we need to build a device to open the gate. Stage 4 is the holdout, which we defend the Gob squad while this guy named Patch establishes an escape route. And the final stage, we don't really know what that is yet. It's listed as bonus objectives right now.
That's kind of cool. It's pretty cool that they've decided to go back and make some of this old content that may be outdated at this point, but people put some serious effort into, and there's some serious story behind that they want to kind of make new again so that people can enjoy it all over again, which is, I think, a pretty cool idea on their part.
Yeah, because I know the end boss of this expansion is supposedly Garrosh, and something's going to happen with him, and I kind of have a feeling that whatever this scenario in Ragefire is, it's going to be something that Garrosh discovers, or some kind of device or something that really escalates that story quickly. So I think Ragefire is going to be a major point of the plot twist with Garrosh this expansion.
I can't wait for that to unfold.
That'd be interesting, yeah. I mean, because up until this point, I guess this kind of brings us to the next thing, is that the only other way that you would experience old instances or to get that lore or the storyline, or just go back and get some nostalgia out of it, was just to run these things at such a high level. And going back as a 90 to run Ragefire is not exactly something that it's not much of a challenge.
No, not at all.
But something that us three have done similar things in the past in WoW, where we can go back and it's been so long since we've done Molten Core. Guys, you want to go run Molten Core?
Yeah.
Sure, hell yeah.
But next time, let's not pull all of Molten Core simultaneously.
That seemed like a really good idea.
I think that's what I wanted to meant. Like, things like that make going back to run Molten Core so much more fun, I think.
I thought it would be fun to group up all the bosses and AoE them down. It's something that was completely unheard of back at level 60. If you pulled what's the
Shazra?
Shazra and Baron Geddon, if you pulled them together, like, there's no way you were done.
Nope.
Most of the time you were done just pulling one of them, even properly.
Yeah, I mean, like, but the thing is if we were immune to their stuns and silences, then it wouldn't have been a thing.
Yeah. Well,
we AoE'd about half that instance down together. It worked.
Yeah, and that's what makes going back and doing things like that kind of fun. You get the nostalgia of, hey, we haven't been here in years. Like, it was pretty cool. Let's go back and just see what we can do in there, or what's going to be fun to do. I mean, we went again, Molten Core. We went back, and I got to melee half the stuff down as my mage, which was pretty cool. I mean, it was different. It was pretty funny to see that I could sit there as a single mage and melee down Ragnaros.
Oh, I was there with my benediction, just stabbing at him, but
we did get to 2 sun phases. I just stood back and watched because I am melee damage, like, so the boss would have died really quickly. So I just watched you guys, and you still got to the suns, just whacking on them with your staff.
We did. Back in the day, man, we might have wiped if we had gone through that many sun phases.
I remember very farming fire resist for that fight, and everybody needed 300.
Oh, I don't even want to think about that anymore.
Oh
Yeah, so I
yeah.
mean, there's other reasons to go back and do that as well. I mean, there's now there's mounts in some places that you can go back and try and get the mounts, achievements. So for all you achievement hunters out there, I'm not personally one. I know Dom has like 3 times the amount of achievement points I do.
And also, they have his battle pets.
They
Mm-hmm.
do. Hmm.
That was something I was really excited. What was it? 2 patches ago that they added pets to all the classic raid instances. They added 3 to Molten Core, 3 to Blackwing Lair, 3 to AQ40, and 3 to Naxxramas, which is technically Wrath of the Lich King now, but originally it was a level 60 instance.
Hmm. And put it this way, now you can put down your Pokemon and just play WoW. So
I've actually never played Pokemon, believe it or not.
I don't. I
Oh,
don't believe
God help us if he does.
that.
I couldn't. Just because the way I'm hardwired, where I need everything, and if I can't have everything, I don't want it at all.
Oh, that's it. I'm sending you a copy of
Nope,
Pokemon.
no, it's not happening. I'm not. No,
Putting you
I
in
can't
hell.
do it. But I'm actually really excited. Next patch we're gonna have raiding with leashes 2, which is they're going back and they're adding pets to all of the Burning Crusade instances that had attunements on them. So Karzan, Tempest Keep, and SSC. That's the one. Yeah, and I believe some are being added to Black Temple as well.
Yep.
Thank God there are none being added to Hyjal.
It's an instance I can wait a while before I go back to do.
Yes.
And yeah, the whole pets thing. Now that you've been so into it, you've kind of sucked me and Indy into it a little bit. Me, I think, a little more so.
Yes.
It was not something that I really intended on getting involved with. And I just started with this past week, and basically every 5 seconds was Dom, how do I do this? Dom, when do I do this? What's this? Is this pet good? So I mean, it's been a lot of fun for me, and like we said earlier, it's basically Pokemon for WoW. So maybe I shouldn't be that excited that I like it, but it is pretty fun. It's easy to pick up and learn. I was just glad that I had you there, so then I could just ask you instead of actually looking into it. I could just whisper you or bug the hell out of you while you were raiding, which isn't so
Right,
bad.
because the mechanics are so difficult to figure out on your own.
The other cool thing about it that made it okay, I think okay for me to get into it was that these pets now and the mounts are all account wide, so I don't just have to do it on one character and then be like, oh damn it, now I'm playing another character. Like I have a tendency to bounce around on my different characters and to be like, I leveled all my dudes up on Sophist. Now I'm on my Death Knight.
Mhm.
What the hell?
But then you run into the problem where you have 14 Sinister Squashlings on your account.
That's the thing that I always wish they would have implemented a long time ago, since before pet battles, because I had some really rare pets on some of my characters and I couldn't access them from another. So
Like the spirit of competition.
yeah, like that one.
See, I was the guy that was always like running with people, and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna go do this to try and get this achievement or this pet. Do you want to go?" And I'd be like, "Sure." And they're like, "We can do it for you too." And I'm like, I don't care. It's fine. I'll just do it for you." So I have the experience of doing all this stuff without the looking. Now I don't have the pets or the mounts that went with it.
And Kyle has been asking me, hey, can we go back and get this pet? Like, hopefully it'll drop.
Exactly. See, I'm now trying to go back and get Thunder Fury on my mage because
Oh man.
I don't know what mage doesn't need a Thunder Fury.
All of them?
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Now, I guess back to the battle pets. The big thing I think everyone should probably realize, I don't know how many people realize this, is that you can get lesser charms from this.
That's the only reason I allowed myself to be sucked into that vortex, is just to get over that cap, because I'm a priest with 2 healing specs and I refuse to go shadow, as everybody knows. So dailies aren't really a thing for me unless one of these 2 guys wants to carry me through my dailies.
And when I pretty much gave Indy the ultimatum and said, hey, I'm not doing dailies anymore, she kind of got mad at me. And I told her, hey, you know what? You can get your lesser charms through pet battles. And what was your reaction to that, Indy?
He didn't say that at all.
Mm-hmm.
No, he mentioned that you could get these charms, and it is true. However, I noticed that I was trying to queue up for I guess the PvP pet battles, you don't get anything through that. Or I just had really bad luck. So you just have to physically go around and just battle stuff.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, I haven't done a ton of it, but I have noticed that you just randomly get them every once in a while from
Yeah.
killing another pet, which is kind of cool.
And
Plus,
Dom, why don't you tell us how many charms you've amassed doing your pet battles?
Oh, I have over 2,200 on my rogue, and I keep saying that I'm gonna stop doing the pet battles on my rogue and do them on my mage or my druid, something that actually needs lesser charms, and I always forget. My chat room's always like, hey, don't you remember you said doing that? And I'm already like halfway doing my legendary pet battle daily, and I just don't feel like switching over at that point. So
should be easy to do on your mage because that's the one that teleports around and portals around.
Right?
That should be the one you want to do it on.
right?
I guess the other thing about this is, are these pets worth anything?
Some of them can be, especially if you. They added 3 new pets to the Throne of Thunder raid, and you can get them through LFR, normal, or heroic mode. It doesn't matter. But they're fairly rare. They don't drop very often, and I've seen them go upwards of 30,000 gold right now.
So,
And that's at level 1. That's without even leveling them.
are there other ways to get pets that are worth something? Like, is there other things you can do? Like, would this be a viable thing to do to make some money if you wanted to try and do that while making lesser charms?
Oh, definitely. I've seen, like, I was joking around earlier, the Sinister Squashling. You can probably buy one of those off the auction house for about 8 gold right now on our server. Just because the market is so over flooded with multiple characters that had this pet, and the fact that every Halloween it's even easier to get them because they drop not only from the boss, they drop out of the pumpkin bags, and pretty much everything that you do on this holiday has a chance to drop them. And people doing them on their level 1 alts end up with this pet.
They're taking over.
Yeah, pretty much. So they go anywhere from 8 gold. I actually leveled one to 25, and I sold it on the auction house for 5,000 gold. So you can definitely make money off these things, even, whatever. Probably one of the better ones to make money off of, even though it's kind of harder to farm, is the Sprite Darter Hatchling, which you just go and kill the fairies, those fairy Sprite Darters out in Feralis.
I got mine questing.
Yeah,
way
back when it was questing. With the quests since Cataclysm has been removed, and the only way to get them now is to kill the Sprite Darters themselves. And the pet is actually really good for your legendary pet battle quest. It's unbelievably rigged. Yeah, it's unbelievably rigged, and it's probably the best pet you can have to do those. So not only are they worth quite a bit at level 1, but a level 25 one I saw go for 80k but 2 days ago.
Wow. All right, you heard that here first. Make your millions, Sprite Darters. Aside from that, I'm not sure. I think we've kind of beat the hell out of the pets. Is there anything else that you could think of, Dom?
God, so many pets.
There are a few of the trading card game pets that are out of print now that you can get off the black market auction house. Bananas, for example, Toadfist. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you have this bananas?
I did for a brief period of time.
Let's not get into this. So, yeah, I mean, trading cards. Have any of you played the trading card game for a while? I've heard of it. I've never actually looked into it.
I had a girlfriend that bought me a few packs of cards at one point to try to get different pets and mounts and shit, but I've never actually tried to play them, and I can't even tell you where those cards are right now.
Yeah, I would just buy the packs and sift through them, find loot cards, and then throw the rest. And I know that sounds awful to people who legitimately play it. I didn't throw them out. Somewhere they're stashed, and I would gladly give them to anyone who wanted them because I don't play. But I think all of us are kind of familiar with trading card games. We're going to touch on the new trading card game that just came out, but I don't think any of us have actually played WoW
No. I played a lot of Magic the Gathering back probably around 7th, 8th edition.
Oh
Yep.
man, yep, and I'm playing now. Someone finally got me hooked.
Sophie and I, we will draft. You probably see more success out of his, but it might be kind of amusing to watch me. I don't know.
yeah, it's something I've done on stream before, really badly, but it's fun. The fact that oh man, MTG Online is the worst client I've ever used for just about anything. But
Yeah, seeing as I made my
which
most brutal mistake on that because they have an option to concede an entire match.
yeah,
Ooh.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, which is all the more reason I'm really excited about this Hearthstone game that they just announced. Like I can't even tell you how excited I am about this game. It doesn't it probably I should not be, but it's okay. I am.
One of my big concerns with that originally was I thought it was going to replace the TCG game for like the real, physical cards. And my concern was that if they started adding mount and pet loot cards within the game, that it was just going to overshadow and completely destroy the trading card game aspect. Because I know a lot of people purchase the booster cards and the packs and the decks and stuff just for a chance at loot cards. Like we explained, me and Indy, the only reason we bought them was to try to get loot cards. So I know a lot of people that do it for just that reason. But Blizzard has actually announced that they do not have any current plans to add loot cards to the online game.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, cool.
self-contained. That's not going to be the same thing at all.
There
Yeah,
is a
no.
promotion that we've data mined some achievements for. I saw it on Wowhead earlier. That you participate in the Hearthstone promotion and you get a Hearthsteed mount in World of Warcraft. But I think that's the only current tie-in that they have planned.
That's
Thinking
cool.
maybe that's going to be the next annual pass, kind of like the Diablo 3 thing. But
Yeah, with the Tyrael's Charger and all that
yeah,
jazz.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited because at first glance I was a little hesitant. I was not sure how much like effort they were going to put into the trading card or not to Hearthstone because I know how recently playing Magic I know how in depth that can be and how hard it is to balance something like that. But like when you said the other day that I think it's been in production for about 2 years now, and that I shouldn't have had this hesitation because I know Blizzard puts a lot of effort into their products. Uh, but I was a little hesitant. But now seeing some of the gameplay and hearing more people talk about it, uh, it seems something I'm sure I'm gonna be addicted to it, and I kind of hope that you're allowed they let you play it in World of Warcraft like a in game uh, browser that you can you doesn't have to be running separately. Well, it wouldn't matter. I'd do it anyways. But
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely. I have a feeling that this is going to be a huge cash cow for them. Like, you totally don't need to spend a dime on this game. It's completely free to play. You can unlock all the cards by just playing the game, but there's also the option to buy booster packs of cards, and they said that they're going to guesstimate around $1 per pack. And I can see this being a huge cash cow for them. I know I'm going to drop some money definitely into the game.
yeah, and I can't wait. Like I just want to see people like shoutcasting matches online, see how competitive this thing can get, because I don't know if people realize how competitive some of Magic can get, and I feel like uh, Blizzard has seen how competitive things like StarCraft and uh, even arenas have gotten. And I think this is just another opportunity for them to introduce this to almost an esport, but I guess it would be. But it's just out there for like they could just take this market because I think other companies are not doing it at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know how much shoutcasting would actually realistically work as like a gaming kind of thing. I mean, it could definitely work. You see what Lore has done with the Brawlers Guild shoutcast. Like, it's kind of a joke, but it's fun. It's entertaining. It's not something super serious. But I think the Hearthstone could kind of fall somewhere in between. I'd be very interested to see if Lore is going to pick that up. I'd totally watch that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on the other side of the boat. I think it could be extremely competitive if handled the correct way. So aside from that, we don't want to spend all our time in the news talking about Hearthstone. Although I gladly would. Are there some
We could
other things
probably
that
fill an entire show of talking about our speculations, speculate. What kind of word is that?
I
Speculations.
don't know?
Our speculations on that, and like just everything, like ins and outs, and I don't know. We could go on to that for
Yeah, maybe
hours.
we will. I don't know. At some point, I'd love to spend a ton of time with Hearthstone, but I think we need a little more information when we get it. I think that's something you guys will definitely be hearing from us about.
For sure. A little more hands-on time.
Yeah, now, if I'm lucky enough to get in the beta, oh man, I would pay people. Blizzard. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything else? I know you had some stuff to talk about other than Hearthstone.
There
And
certainly is. Well, since we did kind of touch on Hearthstone coming out, we kind of gave our thoughts on that. Going through the patch 5.3 notes, because, you know, it is coming up, I would like to also talk about the Brawlers Guild and how challenge cards are going to be added. They'll be able to be used to open up a quest and gain access to 12 different new exclusive bosses. And these challenge cards can be attainable via, at least as far as we know right now, fishing, archaeology, and even interacting with some random NPCs. So if you're lucky enough to obtain some of these, you could have the opportunity to fight an exclusive boss. And the reward for that, I'm not sure what it would be, but at least you know that, you know, if you've pretty much beat everything that you could have already beaten in the Brawlers Guild, there are now possibilities for you to go even further.
that's
I'm
pretty
sure
cool.
there's even going to be an achievement or something to defeat all of them.
Oh, probably
Yeah.
for sure. They're also saying that you're going to be able to revisit past fights if you've beat everything via buying a challenge card from a special NPC, allowing you to repeat encounters. Also, if you have gotten to the max rank, there's going to be 2 new tiers that are going to offer the Brawlers Guild members opportunities to reach rank 10, and that will include 8 new bosses. So a lot of new things going on there, a lot of new things to participate in and achieve. And if you do achieve a high enough rank, you'll also have access to a VIP lounge.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm excited.
whatever goes on in those VIP lounges stays there, so just keep that in mind.
Oh, even the
Unless
loot?
it's kind of like Vegas. The only thing that doesn't stay in Vegas is herpes.
Well-
That comes back with you.
Luckily,
Right,
you're in the
right.
game. I don't think herpes is transmissible via the VIP lounge in the
I
Brawlers
hope not.
Guild. Unless, I mean, be careful.
For my sake.
Just be careful.
Have you guys done any of this? The Brawlers Guild? I'm just going through it now. I'm like, it's this cool. Like, I didn't think it would be that fun, and it really is. I thought I was like, I'm done with raiding. I don't want to do this stuff again.
Yeah.
But it's different. I like it.
Well, being a double spec heal priest, there's only so much I will be able to attain in the Brawlers Guild. I think I just did it to make people laugh. They watched me get bruised. I went into it not even knowing any of the fights, and I got chomped, and so did you. We both got chomped.
That's right. Yeah.
And
Don't
Yeah,
tell
I mean-
anyone that.
I started a little bit earlier than you guys. I did it when Lore was doing his shoutcast, and I pretty much exclusively did it when he was shoutcasting. But I did pretty much the same thing. I didn't research the fights at all, just went into them, and I think that was the fun of it, is just not knowing what it does and just slamming your head against it and seeing what happens.
It's tons of fun. I don't know how else to say it. Like, if you haven't done it, get a chance. Get yourself in the Brawlers Guild if you're 90, and you don't even need gear. You don't need it. I mean, you want to have gear if you want to progress, but I know when my mage hit 90, I went right in that day and did a couple.
yeah, just watch out for the chomp.
Yeah, don't get bruised, and don't do it in a live stream if you think you're gonna get bruised.
We both
do
got
that.
bruised live, so that was definitely fun.
Yeah, you
Bruce
can
is
go
one
back.
fight, surprisingly enough, I did not die to.
Oh well, we took that up for you. I did that for you.
I appreciate it.
So I didn't mean to derail us. You can keep going.
All right, just a couple of more things. I wanted to add in here because I am a priest, I am a healer. I never do anything but that, it seems, anymore. That healing abilities, this is in the patch notes, healing abilities and spells which automatically pick targets now follow consistent rules for targeting logic. This means targets with lower percentage health will be preferred, and players are weighted more heavily than pets. And this means that people like me who atonement heal, or if you have any kind of smart group heals, or if you have a prayer of mending bouncing around or anything like that, regardless of your heal class, now they'll actually start making sense. Whereas before, if there was a golden banana on the ground, my atonement heal would say, hey, golden banana, I think I'm going to heal you instead of the tank who's currently getting smacked in the face. So this is very good news for all healers.
Does this mean Dom is going to die less?
I don't know about that.
Because I don't think any amount of changing to healing is going to get me to die less.
They would have to do a lot. This is good news, but we're not sure if it's going to keep him alive. We'll have to see how that works into it.
Well, I thought what was it, last patch when they changed the monk, those green little balls they drop in the ground, the Skittles, the monk Skittles, when they don't get walked over anymore, they now just pop and heal targets near them. And I thought that was an incredible change, and I thought that was going to help me die quite a bit less, but no, I still just keep falling over.
Well, they did nerf us discos and saying our atonement heals are dropping from 100% to 80% of smite damage. It's a pretty significant little hack there, but I currently run, and I think a lot of us are currently running a heavy crit build. So like we're critting a lot and our heals are hitting for much more. So I don't predict that this is going to be a problem, but as far as heals go, like that first patch note there, I think is going to be a happy relief to all of us who feel like a lot of our heals are getting wasted when we use a smart heal, and it's like, do we even want to cast this because it's going to target someone's pet who we don't even care about at this point? So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing.
The little bit of healing I've done on my druid, I just ignore people's pets. They could die for all I care.
Well, yeah, but the smart heals don't know what you would prefer, and now they're saying that they're going to prefer targets with lower health percentage, which I feel should have been a thing all along.
So smart heals are smart now.
They're going to actually start being smart, so congratulations, Blizz.
Are they going to be as smart as our smartphones?
I don't know. We'll have to see. I can't wait till this is actually implemented and I can test it out and compare it to, the effective healing I have right now. So
am I going to be able to download an app for my smart heals?
Perhaps. Who knows?
Maybe. Poor golden bananas. No more heals for them.
I'm sorry, golden bananas. I think you're dick now.
Oh.
Also, interesting, and I've read this, and I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but bonus rolls. Okay, so basically, you have your charms that you turn in for your bonus rolls, and every time you can hear them over mumble, you can hear them complaining in raid chat. God damn it, I got gold again. Gold, double gold, triple gold, the whole instance.
Fail bags.
So what they're going to do is implement protection for bad luck streaks, and this means that each bonus roll that does not provide loot has a progressively better chance to award loot. So it's like, if you keep getting the bad luck streak, eventually, hopefully, you won't be just looting 24 gold.
God damn it, I keep getting richer. This is the worst.
I can see people trying to exploit that, though.
I think at some point I'd rather have, gold than my 12th copy of tier gloves.
Yeah. But, I mean, in the beginning, if people are looking for a specific piece of loot, maybe they're gonna roll a few times on things that they don't need, hoping that they can exploit it and save and not roll for the next, 3 bosses, and then use their roll on the one item that they need to hopefully get that item to drop.
Would that really be an exploit?
Yeah, I think that's just playing the odds. I think that's fine. I don't know if that's an exploit.
Yeah, it's not really an exploit, but I can see a lot of people trying to do some workarounds, and to try to get an increased drop rate and force the game to do it is in my opinion, an exploit.
I think for people who only have LFR to go to, at this point is a really good thing. I think people who raid both LFR and outside with a guild, that, it might be something where they're like, oh, take it or leave it because I already get enough loot. But either way, I think it's good that they added something like this, because I do see a lot of screaming and hollering about nothing but gold. And I've
pretty much all of it is Sophist, though.
I've been in that situation too, where it really, it gets annoying. It's like, for someone like me who doesn't do dailies and I don't rack up all these charms, you'd like a couple of them to be fruitful. So, So aside from that little implementation, just a small note here on the legendary quest chain. For those of us that are waiting to collect 6,000 valor to turn in that final step there, we are going to be reduced to a requirement of 3,000 valor points. So that quest should get done much quicker now for, like I said, for those of us who don't have.
Yeah, for people that are kind of behind right now in the quest chain.
Yeah, I'm kind of
me.
behind, and I don't necessarily cap every week, which I really should. But so that's a little bit of a relief for people who are just waiting on that turn in to continue. And finally, heroic scenarios are going to be implemented, and basically what this means is the scenarios have a heroic difficulty, and it's going to provide more challenging content for small groups of pre-made groups that will go through and defeat these heroic encounters. Now, a note to this should be that you can't just go into the LFR or LFG finder and queue up for this. You have to have a pre-made group for it. And the bonus objectives that somebody mentioned before earlier in this podcast that is undetermined at this point, that's strictly for the heroic scenarios, and you'll be able to be rewarded more valor for completing bonus objectives within a heroic scenario. So there are possibilities to get extra items and valor specifically for going the extra mile in there. So I figure if you have a pre-made group, you kind of know that, you're not going to get stuck with a bad group like you can in a heroic random.
I don't know, you guys are screwed, you got me.
No,
Not necessarily. But
I'll be on the floor the whole encounter.
We can battle. Well, no, I can battle Rezu. We're fine.
Okay.
Now, the cool part about this is, to me, it sounds like they're trying to make scenarios a thing, because, I have not done a ton of them. The ones I've done, I've kind of been like, yeah, I don't.
Some of them
I
are
go
fun.
in there and I'm like, okay,
most of them are not.
Yeah, most of them are not. I remember we stumbled into one or two before when we were still trying to get gear for him and valors and stuff. And it's kind of like, it might be a challenge if you're under geared a bit, but now having the heroic aspect to it and having bonus objectives where you feel like you have to go even further, it's more challenging. I think that challenging aspect just appeals to those of us who can pretty much roll through those things.
I don't know if they were supposed to be much more as a challenge as they were just like an instance. Like, take for example the arena quest that we've had in every single expansion. We had the Blood of Honor in Burning Crusade. We had the one in Zoldrak and Wrath. The one in Twilight Highlands and Cataclysm. And now here we are, Pandaria. The arena instance, it's a scenario. Like, you don't have to worry about waiting your turn and fighting to turn the quest in. Like, for that particular scenario, it works really well. Some of the other ones just seem really out of place, kind of thrown in. There's no real reason to do them.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there, for sure.
Because I don't know about you guys, but that was probably the most annoying thing about the arenas, was trying to do them. Even now, trying to do them on alts, going back to Outlands and trying to turn a quest in, and you have other people fighting to do it. Nobody wants to wait their turn. Everybody wants to just turn it in and go as fast as they can, and you end up sitting there waiting for like 6 people to go when you were the one there first, and you did like the first 2 with nobody around.
Yeah, I did enjoy those though. I did like those. Those are some of my favorite things. I don't know, but I can see the downside to it.
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of covers all the news that we've got for you this week. We're gonna try and keep that as up to date as possible. I know a lot of our other content is a little bit not on the cutting edge of what's happening, but this is where we kind of want to touch on all the new shit that's going on. So now that we've done kind of all the new stuff going on in World of Warcraft, a big thing that us three and actually a lot of the guys that we hang out with online, our chat rooms and stuff as well. We love to play a lot of Steam games. Like, this is kind of like a segment where we call it blowing off some steam.
Yeah, I like this segment.
So who is Steam, and why are we? Never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Aww.
So we want to Steam has been this like great thing in our lives. It's at least recently for me that it just allows you to play tons of games with tons of people and just have this like community.
Most importantly, it allows us to go to the Mon.
It does. I don't know if any
To
of
the
you have
Mon.
ever played Moonbase Alpha. If you haven't, you
You're
have
missing
to.
out.
It's free.
Mhm,
If you
mhm.
just want to see it, check out one of our streams and watch. The hilarity will ensue. It's good. So like most recently in Steam, you guys have really gotten into Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
it's
trying
kinda
to pull
like
you in. We're trying to get you in there, and you're giving up some resistance. But I think soon you might see the fun in it because it is really. I think it's fun. At first, I had a really frustrating time, and Dom was just completely owning everything. And then I learned, oh my god, it's so cool to be on the bad guy team and be one of the infected. They all have these awesome abilities, and you
yeah,
get to
if you
fuck
use
with
them
people.
if you use them in conjunction just right, like you can really do some damage.
Yeah, it's a game I have played a little bit, dabbled in it in the past, and it is a lot of fun. I don't know, it's not my kind of game, but I do enjoy like every once in a while I'll hop on with you guys, and the fact that we can almost always get 8 people to play this game, because with Steam, one of the reasons we love it is because things will be on sale for like $2. You're like,
Yeah,
okay, well I have to buy that because it's $2.
or even free to play, ridiculously stupid games that we can just get together and play. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I think we've had a lot of fun with our community with the Left 4 Dead 2. I mean, I've even when I didn't want to play, I've watched you guys because it's a ton of fun.
It's great when you have a full group of people because you're split into teams. We usually random it up and you never know who you're going to get stuck with. And then it's also fun because we're all in the same channel. While we probably strategically, if we were playing strategically, we would be in different channels. But no, we're all in there. And I'll have like a jockey as an infected, and I'll like jump on Dom or something, and I'll just like ride his face across the map. And it's fun to listen to him react to that live. I actually got an achievement from it was somebody else I was jumping on for like a 12-second jockey ride. It's
Yeah,
just
we'll all
it's
just be
so much
hiding
fun.
there, and Callow will be walking around the corner, and I'll charge her off the bridge.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
And then
knocks
she
me
just
down an elevator
flips
shaft.
out. Oh, that was the best.
So
But
yeah.
it's
I
just,
mean,
it's amazing how we could take a game that it's like 4, 5 years old now at this point, and it's not exactly new to us, but it's something that we've been away from for long enough that we can come back to it, and it's still a really fun game. And
I
Yeah.
I
think
think it's more just because of our friends and the people
that's
we
exactly
play
it.
with.
Because when I first started playing this game, I had a handful of friends that played it, and we would run the campaign. I never played anything other than that. But now it's so much more fun because it's all of us.
Right.
yeah, and I, I'm hoping that with doing this, we can kind of grow our community and get more people to join in with us on this, which is because it's fun just playing with other people that have the same interests. That even if we're not playing with the same people all the time, seeing new people
Yep.
in there and having a good time with those guys is a blast.
Jump on Steam and add us, like maybe we'll even create a little group just for this podcast for people to like join. And so that way when we're all on Steam, we can join in a game. Maybe
Yeah,
pick a different game every week or something. That would be fun.
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
and we can. We're always live streaming, so we can always maybe put some highlights up in some show notes somewhere, which would be people can get access to them. Be a lot of fun.
For sure. I know there's definitely a few highlights up. I believe Indy has a few, some epic charges I've done on her and various things.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we've kind of beat that one to dead. Death.
Did we
Dead.
leave it for dead?
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should bring it up again so we could leave it for dead a second time.
No.
I'm pretty sure we've left it for dead.
So we're about done here, but I wanted to touch on something that we kind of tossed around. Thought it maybe be a pretty cool idea, but we need people's help to make it happen. Uh, Something we want to call World of Lovecraft, and we can get
Yeah.
some people's. We need to have people write in to us or get in touch with us on Twitter. And so I guess at some point we should set up an email. Because I'm not
Just
sure
for
everyone.
this.
Not sure people want to be tweeting some of these things. in case they want, anonymity. But basically, what we want to do is take it. If you guys have any relationship advice you want, we could try and help you guys out. I don't know if I'm the total expert, but these guys might be able to do it. I'll definitely add my 2 cents.
Right to Indy.
Yeah, that's probably the way to go.
Yeah, we could name it Ask Indy.
I think that maybe we'll fiddle with that.
Ask Indy at,
It's gonna
at
have to be her
Gmail,
specialty.
Tell me all
something
of your
like that.
tell me all of your World of Lovecraft woes.
Yeah,
Stay a
in-game,
while
out of
and
game,
listen.
whatever. You know what? If this just turns into to Q&A, then that's cool too. I think it's fun to go that other direction, but we'll see where it leads. I want to have some sort of community involvement. So, with that, I think that's all we got for you guys this week. Do you guys have anything that we didn't mention that you guys want to say real quick?
Well, also relating your community involvement, if you guys have something that you just want us to talk about, feel free to get in touch with us in any way you can and say you really want us to talk about this, that, whatever, and we'll do our best to hit it.
Most definitely. I think feedback is going to determine, like future podcasts, what we like to touch base on, because we can talk about anything. We're hardcore casuals. We play everything.
It's true. We play all the games. All right. So that, I think, does it for us. Be sure to reach out to us on Twitter, Twitch TV. I know Indy's got a YouTube channel as well. As far as me, you can reach me on Twitter at The Real Sophist, or on Twitch TV / The Real Sophist. Dom, what do you got for your stuff?
You can get me on twitch.tv /Xizta, Xizta. Same on Twitter, except there is an underscore at the end of my name.
Sure. Indy?
I can be located both on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube. Everything is Indy Garona.
Oh.
Is that kind of like your last name?
You've pretty much made it my last name, but we'll just say it's my server of origin.
Sure.
Gotcha.
I also know that we are working on a hardcore casual name as well, and we have a Twitch TV site. We haven't done anything on it yet, but that's HXC Gaming, so Twitch TV /HXC Gaming. We also have a Twitter tag. Dom, what was that?
It's _HXC.
Okay. Yep. So you can get in touch with us there as well, and like I said, we'll work on getting you guys an email in the very near future. But that's about all we got for you today. Thank you for joining us on our first episode of Hardcore Casuals, and we'll talk to you soon.